What is up? It's your girl Fuzz. Today covering Ginger Island in Stardew Valley, including preparing for Ginger Island if you're new to Stardew Valley or you've got mobile and you're still waiting for Ginger Island, as well as what you should be looking out for when it comes to Ginger Island. I will try my best to avoid spoilers, but just letting you know this is a coverage on Ginger Island. The number one tip is what tools do I need to bring with me when it comes to Ginger Island, and it's actually all of them except for maybe your scythe, unless you want to bring that along. Your pickaxe is obviously needed to break rocks, but you will need at least a steel pickaxe when it comes to Ginger Island to break down some of the boulders that are found around here. You'll also need your pickaxe for muscle rocks and bone rocks, but I'll touch on that later. Your axe is obviously used against trees, but you will need a steel axe when you go to Ginger Island just to break some of the logs that are found around here. Your hoe will also be needed, not only just to dig up the artifact spots that can be found all around Ginger Island, but also to be used against ginger. Ginger is actually grown within the ground and can only be randomly found when you're on Ginger Island, so be sure to look out for them and use your hoe against them. Your watering can will be used so you can farm on this island because there will be a space for that. And also bring your fishing rod along because there are some new fishes to fish up at Ginger Island. Funnily enough, you'll actually need your copper pan as well because you will find shimmers around here which will offer you some things that you use on Ginger Island. So essentially you'll need everything except for your scythe, as long as you've got a weapon on you so you can cut down some grass so you can get yourself some fiber. Second tip to know is that Ginger Island is split up in 4 different directions: north, south, east, and west. When it comes to referencing areas on Ginger Island, I will be using north, south, east, and west, and so does everyone when it comes to Ginger Island. When you show up to Ginger Island for the first time, you'll show up on the pier, which is on the south side of Ginger Island. You'll then find yourself wandering over to the east side of Ginger Island, where you'll meet yourself Leo, the first NPC of Ginger Island, who I'll mention later on. But then you'll find yourself going to the north side of the island, which is going to be a place you'll find yourself going through a lot. There is the Island Field Office, which later on you'll meet someone who is going to gain you access within here. But you'll also encounter the Volcano Dungeon, which is located on the north side of the island and is going to be a place you might find yourself a lot. It's a very short dungeon. There's only 10 floors within there, but the enemies in here can hurt, but they drop some really cool useful items for Ginger Island. You'll actually need your watering can, your pickaxe, and any food or even food buffs to bring yourself through here. It's a little more difficult than the mines, but it is a lot less stressful than Skull Cavern, so it's somewhere in between because there's only 10 floors. And every day these floors do reset, so keep that in mind. The west side of the island is also where a lot of action will happen because there's actually an island farmhouse that you can unlock with the golden walnuts that I mentioned before. But there's also a lot of things you can find here, including mussels, ginger, even some coconuts on some trees. There's also a really big farming area right in front of the farmhouse, so be sure to keep this in mind when you start to find some seeds on Ginger Island. For our next point, your gold doesn't really have much of a currency when it comes to Ginger Island. However, you will be able to find yourself some golden walnuts, which are kind of used as currency. They're actually used to unlock certain areas on Ginger Island. However, there's 130 of these to find. I'll link a video up in the annotations and the description below on how to find all 130 of these in a way that you can find them all one after another. Some are pretty easy to find. There are some clues on the ground that you can find that are kind of pointing you in the direction to tell you there's a golden walnut here, and some are a bit more harder to find. If you're having some difficulty finding some golden walnuts, you can interact with the parrot that lives with Leo on the east side of the island. He'll actually give you a clue a day to tell you where you can find the next golden walnut. Even though there's 130 of these to find, you only need 100 to unlock like a secret door on the west side of Ginger Island, which I will keep a secret to those that don't know anything about it. Next up, we got some forages and what you could use these forages for when you start finding them. First up, we've got the east side of the island. There are some random fiber patches here that you can slice down to get yourself some fiber, and you can pick up some fiddlehead fern over here. But the most important part is knocking these fibers down will actually give you a chance to give your mummified frog, which I would highly suggest keeping at least one in your inventory. On the south side of the island, find any artifact spots you can and use your hoe on them to get yourself some artifact troves that you can break open at Clint's, but also a fossilized rib, which also keep one of these in your inventory. On the west side of the island, there are muscle rocks that you can find south of your island farmhouse. These will replenish daily, and they also have a chance to give you 5 golden walnuts, so keep that in mind. As well as ginger that can be found by using your hoe against them, because these can be used for recipes and also to trade at the island trader, or even for special orders that you might get over at Pelican Town. Then there is also coconuts that you'll see hanging from trees. I would suggest shaking these trees and keeping all your coconuts because you'll be needing them later. Hey, real quick, liking the video, why not leave a like? Helps with the algorithm, and if you want to see more videos, why not consider subscribing? Next up, we have special orders already available over at Pelican Town in front of Lewis's house, but once Ginger Island is unlocked, some new ones become unlocked. Some notable ones include Caroline's Island Ingredients, where she'll ask you to ship over 100 pineapple in the shipping bin. So be sure to keep any of your pineapple seeds that you find throughout Ginger Island. On the top topic of doing things for people, you'll find yourself a new NPC over at Ginger Island on the west side. Her name is Birdie. She'll hand you a war memento that has no use to her, but over at Pelican Town, it seems like someone might need it. And once completed, she'll reward you with not only 5 golden walnuts, but also the recipe to fairy dust, which is an ingredient that you can use on machines to fully complete an action, such as crystallariums producing you a gem, or a keg finishing a wine. Next up, we got volcano drops, which I'll try my best not to give any spoilers, but there are some notable mentions when it comes to the volcano. You'll encounter many enemies in here, including the magma sprites that kind of fly around in here and they look like a fireball, and the lava loads that kind of lurk in the lava as their name would imply. Killing all these enemies, although they are tough to kill, is actually quite important because their drops are absolutely amazing. Take tiger slimes, for example, that you can find in the volcano dungeon. They actually have a chance to drop you taro tuber, which acts kind of like rice shoot, which you can plant next to a body of water and will grow into taro that you can use at the island trader. They'll also drop you pineapple seeds and mango saplings, which is a new type of tree you'll find at Ginger Island. Magma sprites, like mentioned before, actually have a chance to drop you cinder shards, which are used in the volcano, but I won't give any spoilers as to why. And magma duggies, which you can find in the random mud, have a chance to drop you taro tubers, cinder shards, and actually have a chance to drop you mega bombs as well. At every 5th level of the dungeon, every time you get to that, you'll always find yourself the volcano dwarf that sells some really good things, including bombs, food options, and the warp totem recipe to Ginger Island. But on the 10th floor of this volcano, you'll actually find a big pool of lava which you can fish in, surprisingly, and a random really cool machine called the Forge. The Forge is really useful. You can combine any 2 rings that you want, you can upgrade your weapons, and you can even upgrade your tools. I have an older video that actually touches about the journal scraps that you will find throughout Ginger Island that actually explain how the Forge can be used, so I'll link that in the annotations and the description below. Number 7, there are some new bright phrases that you'll find at Ginger Island that you've never really met before, and the first person you would have met is Leo, who actually lives at Ginger Island but was brought up by the parrots that lived on the island. You can actually give him gifts if you want to know his backstory, as well as just watch him walk around the island. Birdie, as mentioned previously, is on the west side of the island. She doesn't have much use except for the mission that she gives you, and once completed, she kind of just hangs out there. Professor Snail is a new name that I haven't mentioned. You can find him on the north side of Ginger Island. He's trapped by some rubble on the north side, but once you let him escape, he'll give you access to his island field office. Then there's one of my favorite, the Island Trader, which you might have heard me mention a few times before. He's only available to unlock with 10 golden walnuts once you complete the repair of the island farmhouse. Like mentioned, your money has no value here. He'll actually ask you to trade in some items with him. Be sure to have a chest or even a few chests on Ginger Island, because not only are the things that you're going to bring onto the island that you'll need to keep, but also the items that you find on Ginger Island are very useful in your gameplay, so keep that in mind. So I didn't mention a lot of it, but the island field office that can be unlocked when you unlock Professor Snail from his little rumble is actually going to be quite important in your gameplay, and I'll explain why. Now, there's a combination of technically 2 things that are in here. There is actually going to be 2 questions on a board at the back of the island field office, which, when answered correctly, will reward you with a golden walnut, so that's 2 golden walnuts you can get from there. But you also need to hand in any mummified or fossilized items that Professor Snail will need for his research. So every piece of animal that's been handed in and that animal is completed, you'll get a golden walnut per piece that's been handed in, as well as the large animal and the snake being completed will reward you with a banana sapling and a mango sapling respectively. On top of that, when everything is done and dusted and everything in the island field office has been completed, Professor Snail will actually reward you with the recipe to an ostrich incubator, which their egg can be found once you get journal scrap number 10, which will show you an X marks the spot, which will reveal an egg, but you can also find them in the red chest within the volcano dungeon. Guys, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Till next time, take care.